Okay, so in this video, what I want to talk about is essentially the next unit coming out, and pretty much with almost 100% certainty, it's going to be Hoyan. They've already mentioned Hoyan, and I mean, first of all, Frey is ending in 4 days when I'm recording this, so keep that in mind. I'm pre-recording a bunch of videos, so I don't know when exactly this is going to come out. I'm going to be on a trip for 3 days, so I'm going to see you guys after that. But when I come back on Thursday, I think Hoyan should maybe come out Friday, to my understanding. So we're going to break her kit down because she was actually in the beta. Now, they have changed kits from the beta. I want to make sure that's clear. Going to put a little disclaimer. However, one thing is that no kit has like changed the whole skeleton of it, right? So if they do that, well, that's a rip. But they already showed Hoyan, right? In the patch notes, there was an image that showed Hoyan. Now, just because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show it or not, I will not show it. But if you check my patch notes breakdown, you will actually see that image inside it when I was reviewing it. They showed Hoyan and another SSR called Holden. Now, the reason why I'm thinking it's going to be Hoyan first is because, well, she was already in the last second to like 2 betas ago. She was in 2 betas ago. She's been mentioned by name in the hyperlink, well, not the hyperlink, the hyper talk, right? So she's most likely the next one coming. So this is Hoyan, okay, very cool. I think her design's actually really good, if I'm being real. I have not played with her in game, but we're going to break down her kit and see how she goes in the meta. Now, the biggest thing with Hoyan that I do have to say is that because no one's played her yet, we cannot say a definitive yes or no. So for Hoyan, maybe waiting a couple of days to actually see if you summon would be good. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that, remember, if you summon on Freya and don't get Freya, she's still going to have her pity transfer, right? So let's say, what am I think I'm just at like, I'm at 80, right? Let's say you're at 50, it's going to transfer to Hoyan. So I think that just summoning on Freya to try and get Freya at the bare minimum, like I was saying in my other Freya video, and then going to Hoyan would be good. Now let's actually get into this. So Hoyan is green. Now, green DPS, actually, I do want to see how we're looking on green DPS. And I would say, honestly, we're looking pretty good. Like, having Rahu and Ramocha is good, but let's see if she could fill a niche. It's been a while since I've checked her kit, but to my understanding and what I remember, she was actually very good. So, her skill 1, Hoyan strikes swiftly, deals 2 instances of 130% damage to a single enemy, with each attack having a 25% chance to inflict a wound for 2 turns. So her skill 1 is like pretty meh. Okay, I mean, sure, the healing is nice, but as of right now, it's not anything crazy. But in some instances, this could be good. But because it's only 25, I'm not like super crazy about it, but it is 2 instances, so keep that in mind. Now, the skill 2 is going to be big. Pain is the perception of existence. When Hoyan is about to be defeated, immediately restore 60% of max HP and immediately use execution right, which is the ult, we're going to get into that, on the target that attacked her. This effect has a 4-turn cooldown. Okay, so it makes it go from 3 to 4. Not bad. When Hoyan defeats an enemy target, she will revive a fallen ally based based on the defeated target's lost HP. So I'm guessing if they're at 50 and you kill, the revived ally is going to get 50%. And prevent the defeated target from being revived. Okay. Oh. And she's green. This is looking really good for Doki. Okay, each time the passive effect is triggered, Hoyan will apply 1 stack of Fleeting Glance to herself, stacking up to 3 layers. That's a fucking 40% attack buff. That means, to my understanding, this means it's an additive 40%, which means up to 120%. Wow. Okay. That's really good. Oh, up to 120% attack buff. And then let's look at the ult. So, Hoyan consumes 50% current HP to deal 480% damage to a single enemy, ignoring 6.5% defense for every 10% max HP lost. Which means off the bat, that's going to be a, 32.5% defense ignore just from what she does here. But then it might be up to like, I don't know, like 40, maybe 50%, which is really good, right? Now, 480 is very high. If we check, like, Ramocha's ult is 360, I think 540. Now, remember, 480, but you're defense shredding. Now, this is going to be a good comparison to Messiah, right? So, Messiah's ult is 360 with 70% defense ignore. But remember, she has, like, minimum, like, 30%, 32%. But it could go higher to, like, 50. And sure, it's a bit lower. However, her ult does more damage by a fuck ton. And she has the attack boost if she has the res. So late game, I think she's going to be crazy, right? And we have to talk about her res, right? Her res is insane. Like, being able to, first of all, make sure she doesn't die for one hit, and then also res other allies is insane. So I think when she comes out, Sonya like might be a bit less valuable for being real in Doki Doki. Sonya is really good, but after this, maybe you just run Ling Luo and have Hoyan, right? Like I think that could actually be really good. And that's because of how like Doki Doki works like in this, right? Just to kind of show the bosses, right? If we see like there's not many Sonyas, I would say like for quick clears right now there's not many Sonyas, but that's actually good because that means Hoyan is like kind of a safety feature, right? Now you do need real mocha. I don't know who you would slot in though. Like that's the one problem with Hoyan is like who would you slot in on many of these teams? I'm not sure. You would have to find a dual DPS team comp, which later on in Inferno I do know Messiah and real mocha works, but then the problem arises that Hoyan. Now remember, this is her current kit. It could be updated. A single target. So if she stays single target, then that could be a problem where she is going to do decent damage, but it's more going to be to let Romocha do like her AoE by getting the enemy low with her chip damage, right? Now she does work more as a support too, but I think her kit pretty much puts her, if we're being real, in T0 PvP. Okay, I mean, her damage is going to be above Romocha. She has the attack boost, she has the defense shred, going to be above Leon and Born. These three are AoEs, and well, she's a splash AoE, but we understand. But it's like, she's in this range. However, she's the only single target, but she makes up for it by literally fucking rezzing and also having these insane attack boosts. Now, the only problem we could see is that she only is going to use her skill 1 outside of her ult. Now, sure, she's going to be able to use her execution, right? But can you play against it? Yeah. And I think one thing that we have to keep in mind is that Selins, where she's green, right? Yeah, I haven't built her yet, so I'm not really too sure yet. But Selins is going to stop the passive from applying with the Forgetfulness. So we have to keep that in mind, that Selins, like, as a counter pick to Hoyan might be really fucking excellent, because all of this becomes null and void, right? So we have to keep that in mind, that there are, of course, counters. So I don't think she's outright, like, maybe number 1. But if she's really good, I mean, yeah, if you put her maybe with Beonton, the amount of reses you're going to get is just ridiculous to think about. So there for sure is that aspect. But I'm not going to outright say she's, like, insane before she comes out. But I think in terms of picking her up, especially if you don't have Romocha, like, for Doki, she could be really good, especially if you're kind of on the lower end, because obviously, like, when I'm considering my account, maybe she's not like a needed pickup, but it's not like every account has every unit. It's not like every account has optimized their units because they couldn't, right? If you're free to play, you could only do so much at a certain point with rerolling. So we have to keep that in mind. Now, in terms of her stats, I just want to see where her attack is lying. And she's pretty high up. She's pretty high up. Now her speed, I think she was quick, right? No, actually. Okay, before, it's because they added extra speed. But for DPS, I would like to say she's pretty quick. Where is she? She's like, oh, no, she's not. She's actually really low. Really? Okay. So, yeah, no, she's really low. Oh, I see. So she's the second lowest SSR. All right, never mind then. What about her defense? How's her defense looking? If we check this. So her defense is quite decent. 900 for a non-defensive unit is good, but her HP is super low. However, I think her HP low plays good towards her, right? Because her HP being low then means she's gonna be able to get killed quicker, and then if there's no Selins, you're safe, right? You're safe, because then like Selins blocks passives, like I was saying. But if there's no passive block, you just get this and you use your ult. And wouldn't you be at okay? So you'd be at 60%. So that means you would only have 4 instances of the 6.5. Okay. So you'd be at 28% defense shred. If you were at 1% HP, dude, imagine fucking instant 1 kill. Like, that would be fucking crazy. But no. Okay, that makes sense. Now, 3-turn cooldown on this ult is kind of crazy when you think about it, right? Wow. Yeah. That is actually really crazy to think about. 3-turn is very low. It is very low. This is 4. Just looking at the best DPS right now. This is 3. I mean, Maziah's is 3. But, like, she's going to be doing more damage with single target. But sometimes single target is better in these cases, right? If you're able to guarantee a kill by doing more damage, then that's good. How's Rosa's looking? I think it's a bit higher, right? No, it's also 3. Okay, so I think 3 is, like, pretty much the benchmark for a lot of good DPSs. So, yeah, no, I think Hoyan's going to be great. Now, what is she going to be great in? Let's look at the tier. So, generic PvE, she's going to be really good because she has the res. Now, threshold, she's going to suck, obviously, type disadvantage. Doki, I think she's going to be either tier 0 or tier 0.5, right? Her damage is really good. That res, you cannot discount it for sure, especially unless you're in late game, right? Terror, Maybe. I mean, she might be like 0.5. Like, we're gonna have to see how high that damage is, but I could see it being really high. Now, Mazai being this high makes me pretty confident for Hoyan, because I feel like their damage, if they just target the main boss, is quite similar, and she has the guaranteed attack, so maybe you could kill an arm just with the counter. Now, Union boss... So her damage, like, I'm comparing to Masai for two reasons. They're going to be type neutral in a lot of content, and they work very much the same way. They both have a, like, protector mechanic, and also at the same time have defense shredding with good scales, right? Scaling. So I would say she's between 1 and 0.5. Right now, I'm leaning towards 0.5, but I'm not sure. Then for PvP, right now I'm saying tier 0. Like, the res plus her damage, ooh, like, she's going to be the first single target that's actually good, right, in PvP, because Chloros is a single target, but... unfortunate outside of Union boss. Now, Terra Maton, only tier 1. That's quite interesting. I might have to talk about that. I feel like I mentioned that before. I feel like I've had that exact same phrasing before, saying that I need to talk about it with Pridewin. But, yeah, no, overall, Hoyan's great. If you want to check her kit at any time, go on Pridewin, and she's right there. She looks quite fantastic. Now, of course, remember, her kit's probably going to change at least a bit. Almost every kit's changed since the beta, but the essence of the kit, the skeleton of the kit has stayed the same. So imagine that her kit's going to be rather similar, maybe with some tweaks when she comes out in 4 days, 14 hours, which would be June 14th at 4 a.m. EST. Okay, that should be pretty much how it is, either 4 or 5 a.m. EST. I think it's 5 actually. So yeah, that's basically how it's going to be. So maybe pick up Freya before then. I think she's an amazing pickup, and yeah, no, I'm actually really excited for Hoyan. I actually think for most people she is going to be pretty worth it. That's going to be something we'll have to see. Right now, I think keep your polls kind of ready for Hoyan, because she is, if you're trying to go for PvP, I think a must pick up, right? If you're not really too crazy about PvP, that's fine, right? That's fine. But if you are, I think she's almost a must pick up. So I'm going to leave it off with that. Like the video, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day.